Everyone, how y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Oh, that poor little baby. I woke her up a little bit. I did that. And she's had a rough few days too. But that's okay. She's doing good. She's doing really, really good. I'm very proud of her. So, but anyway, I thought I'd just pop up here real quick and let y'all know I'm doing alright and everything. Yeah, I've had a lot of thinking to do and so forth. I'll be the first to admit when I would be out there working, of course I would always be I'd be thinking about him quite a lot. But, and it's understandable. I mean, we met as cab drivers in Vegas, and our lives really revolved around that industry quite a bit, transportation industry, one way or another. And like I said, that's really how our lives really intertwine quite a bit through that. So it's difficult not to, be thinking about him and so forth when I'd be out there working and everything. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're just joining or what have you, first of all, of course, welcome. Second of all, I'm talking about a very close dear friend, ex-boyfriend, and we remained friends afterwards. He passed away this past summer, and I just found out about it. So, I know what you're thinking. How can you been close friends and this and that and everything? You're just finding out about it. It's a long story. So, anyway. So, yeah, I took it hard. A bit hard. But I've done, like I said, I've done a lot of thinking, soul searching, and so forth. I won't go into everything. But, basically, finding balance with it. Realizing, this isn't my first rodeo. I've been down this road a few times. And I also, I didn't want to fall into that trap. Like I have with my mom. My mom in particular, and also somebody else. And yeah, I'll think about him a lot. Kind of hard not to. But at the same point, the main thing is, like I said, learning how to find balance with it. And of course, realizing that life still goes on. But also knowing that I know he'll always be there. And I know that he'll be watching out for me. Especially, since we both were from the same industry. I know that he knows and understands it, So I would say he's probably my closest guardian angel as far as work is concerned. And I'll admit I can use all the guarding I can get. I've had quite a few close calls, a few scary incidences and so forth. Yeah, it's nice knowing I know he's got my back. Yeah. Even more so now than before. So, and I know I have expressed indifference with possibly going back to Vegas after everything is said and done here with me, with my doctor's appointments and so forth. But part of me realizing, ooh, look at possum whisper. I will definitely keep that. All right. Anyway, part of me going through everything, you know, it did stir up quite a bit. You know, I've lost my mom, I've lost other friends. You know, wondering, gosh, is Vegas really the best place for me to go back to? You know, maybe it'd be a good idea for me to start over, maybe someplace else. And I'm not saying that it is, but it has been on my mind. But to be perfectly honest, at the end of the day, time everything is said and done, Vegas is my home. Yeah, I've think about going to other places and so forth. I've thought about, well, maybe try someplace new, this and that. I do look. There's some place in particular I wouldn't mind checking it out, at least. I really wouldn't mind checking it out. But no matter what, Vegas will always have a very special place in my heart. So, but anywho, I just got done really busting my ass with work over the last 3 days. It was pretty tough, but I did it. I did it. Especially last night. Last night was a bit tough. I was really, really exhausted. And my stomach was upset and so on and so forth. But I got out there. I did it. I did it. I was thinking I might go out tonight. But I think I need night off. After everything I've been through over the last week and everything. First having the bad flare up in my chest and then finding out all that with my friend and everything, that shock to my system and everything else, I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to take a night off. So I'm looking forward to my doctor's appointments that are coming up here soon. Very excited about that. I've been seeing a lot of beautiful fall colors. It's a bit unusual for me for this time of year because out there, yeah, we do have trees, by the way, out there in Vegas. And I'm not talking about the palm trees. They do change colors, and but they typically don't do it. I'm talking about in the valley, not up in the mountains. Up in the mountains, they've already done changed and fallen by now. But down there in the valley, they typically don't change colors until closer to Christmas. So, and they've been a bit vibrant here, a little bit. Not quite what I'm used to in Virginia, especially when I lived in the Hampton Roads area, and I would take runs out to Suffolk, and gorgeous, beautiful fall colors with that drive running up there to Suffolk. And, of course, I know that New England is either already changed or in the process of changing, depending on the sort of weather that they've had this year and everything. But for here, I've been seeing some beautiful fall colors. I've been seeing some really interesting Halloween decorations. It's been kind of a mixture. Some homes... well, some places they just, like put out one decoration or maybe just do some lights or something like that. But I've been seeing some interesting ones. Some, of course, there's the blow-ups. I've been seeing some really cute ones, some really fantastic ones with those. But also some homemade ones. Quite a few homemade decorations, which is awesome. It's been really, really cool. Like this one I had seen... it was I think it was a house. I'm not too sure. I think it was a house anyway. Anyway, the one side of it, it was a 2-story. It looked like it was either still a house or it was maybe converted into a business. I'm not too sure which. But anywho, the one side of the house didn't have any windows on it at all. Okay. And what somebody did is they took a couple of skeletons, sat them in chairs, pushed up to a table, made it look like, maybe they were eating or doing something at the table, like a normal, human sort of setting or whatever, okay? And then they took floodlights, put them down there on the ground, changed out the colors, and put some sort of color thing on it or whatever, and had the light shine onto the skeletons, and had it everything positioned just right, so you had the huge shadows of the two skeletons and the table and so forth, being shown on the side of the building like a giant screen or something. That was really cool. I never would have thought to do something like that. That I thought was really, really cool. Plus, I've seen some homemade decorations with like ghosts. People have been doing some things, like taking bed sheets, making ghosts and as display items, and putting them out in their yards and so forth, doing like little scenes or what have you, and everything. And then there's been some of the mixtures of store-bought and homemade and so forth too is out there. So it's been nice seeing all of that. It's been really, really cool. So yeah, definitely something, good memories to take back with and everything. So but yeah, of course I'm starting to see a lot of wildlife coming in, running around and so forth. Of course, a lot of them getting hit by cars, seeing a lot more of them dead in the roads. And I did see the other day, beautiful, gorgeous bald eagle. And I know it was definitely a bald eagle. I looked at first, all I was seeing, of course, was the wings. It was hanging around an electrical tower, not like a light pole or anything. It was one of those, that's several stories high, metal scaffolding, big power lines going through it, like one of those giant hubs or whatever. And it was kind of hanging around up there, just kind of flying around, and then I seen it land up on top. And as I was driving by, I was able to get a really good look at it up there at the top, and we're talking, it was really up there. And I saw its bald head, basically, its white head, and I was just like, and it was just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful bird. Way too far for me to be able to get a picture or anything. Maybe if I had, a good camera with a telescopic lens, I would have been able to. And it would have had to have been a good telescopic lens. I mean, because it was pretty far up there. But it was a beautiful, beautiful bird. So, yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of that and everything. And the weather is definitely changing. It's getting cooler. I think we're pretty much now, I think we got up to 73 the one day this past week, but mostly we've been like upper 50s, lower 60s. And when I say lower 60s, I mean topping out at maybe 63. So, yeah, the weather's changing. I do expect to see snow coming in any point. I am thinking about that a lot, especially with the work that I'm doing. I'm doing deliveries, and not just that, and the fact that I work nights. I'm a lady of the night. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a night owl. But and I'm like, I really need to see about switching over to days or something. Because trying to do things at nighttime, with winter coming, I figure I'll play it by ear. We'll see. It's mostly, all the ice on the roads is what I'm mostly going to be concerned with. The roads, I found that they are really good at keeping those clear, it's parking lots. Right. That's what I'm concerned with. Especially some of these apartment complexes where you can tell they do not keep up with the roads. I mean, they don't even keep up with keeping them better paved, let alone, yeah, keeping things clear of ice and snow and everything. So, I don't know. I know I was in, I'll admit, I was kind of in hopes that I would be able to get back before all that hits and everything. I'm just not too sure if that's going to happen because when I start that physical therapy, I start that on November 3rd, and it's a 6-week commitment. That's taking me all the way into mid-December. Right. So, I'm not too sure how that's going to pan out. And of course, I don't have any experience driving in this sort of winter. But hey, you live and learn, right? It's never too late to learn. And I'll be 51 next month. It's like, and I've learned a lot over the last year, especially about myself, and especially about a lot of other things. So, yeah. That's, but yeah, like I said, it's going to be a big concern. So we'll see what happens. How this all pans out and everything. It would be funny. Go out to work and come home and I'm not able to park in the driveway because it's snowed and I can't get in the driveway. Another thing I was thinking about, in some of these driveways, getting into some of these apartment complexes or these apartment buildings, it's like they didn't remove the curb half the time. And I'm not kidding, because it's like it kind of goes like this, and then, yeah, and it's just like, can you straighten this out? It's bad enough now. Or you get in there and it's a road. It looks like it might go all the way around the building or something like that. No, it winds up doing this thing of, okay, you're going like this, and then all of a sudden it dips down into an underground parking garage or something. Seriously? Right. And it can be pretty tight trying to get out of there, and good luck trying to back out. Especially if it's ice and snow. So I'm going to have to be careful about that. Or even some of these streets, mostly around St. Paul, it's kind of hilly, and some of them, I pull up to them, no big deal now, but I can't help but think about what it's like in the winter, because some of these streets are like this. Yeah. So, and trying to get up that, and it's a sheet of ice. Right. So, yeah, I'm going to have to play things by ear, big time, when it comes to working. But we'll see. I mean, I do have some experience. I know typically that first night, when it snows, not that big night, not that big of a deal. Not always, but the next night, that's after everything has had a chance to get compacted and this and that, and refreezes back over, no snow, and it's just dry. Yeah, I know, especially black ice. So, just take it easy, take it slow. But I have been thinking about it. So, I don't know. I'll have to see what happens with everything. And, of course, it's going to depend on how I do with physical therapy and what Mayo recommends for treatments also. So, we'll see. But the big, I would have to, going back to things being learning experiences. Yeah, this that I've just gone through has been a huge learning curve, learning experience with learning how to take things easier, take things with balancing, and balancing on the one hand, my 3D self wanting to mourn on a quite consistent basis, while at the same time, my spirit basically saying, okay, yeah, you want to say hi? Say hi. She's such a beautiful girl. Yes, she is. She's my Vegas chick. Yes, she is. She was born in Vegas. So she's a true Vegas chick. That's what she has to say about it. She's like, Mom, I enjoy watching the squirrely squirrels and so forth. Well, guess what? We're going to go home. After everything's said and done, yeah, we're going to go home. There she is. Miss America. Queen of the universe, or at least queen of my universe. She's silly. So, anywho, and the other thing I've realized too throughout it all is, with everything that has happened over the last year, there's a lot that I've learned. And I'd have to say the biggest thing I've learned here recently, and it goes with other things that have happened over the course of the last year, and really it's something I had seen published on one of the Instagram accounts that I follow. I think it's called Awakening or Awaken One or something like that. I don't remember. But they recently did a post saying that, when you're born with nothing. Then you spend your whole life chasing after things. And then when you die with nothing. So, what's the point? And basically the point that they were making, and they said it also in the post, basically I think it was in the description is where they had it. They said that hopefully, even though you die with nothing, and you're born with nothing, but you chase after everything throughout your whole life, that hopefully somewhere in there you gained something for your soul. And that's really the whole point for us to be here. It isn't a matter of chasing after, holding on to things. And when I say things, I'm not just talking about, your house, all your belongings, your car, your favorite bike, if maybe you like to go bike riding or something, mountain biking or whatever. That dresser that you've had in your family for 5 generations, it isn't about your mom's ashes. It's you have to take care of yourself and everything. But my point is that it isn't, those are all things. Even our bodies is our things. Okay? Yeah. I know. What matters is throughout your life is how you have taken care of your soul. Yes, it's important for you to take care of your body. So, because it's the vessel that we are in while we are here. Excuse me. And it's also important for us to take care of each other's vessels. Yeah. such a silly girl. Yes, you are. She's happy. She got her food. But my point is that the reason why we're here, like I said, it's to take care of our souls, to enlighten ourselves, to improve upon our souls, and to have experiences. And that's the point. And it really did hit me hard with finding out about Mario's passing. It was like, you know, 'cause one thing that came up with me with everything, you know, because it wasn't just about his passing, it's also about the fact that I lost also my mom's ashes, my baby's ashes, you know, my previous babies that I had, they were in there as well. At the same time, because he was holding on, those of you who don't know, he was holding on to them for me until I could afford to send for them. It was going to cost me a pretty penny for me to pay for the shipping to have them sent to me. And unfortunately, it just wasn't working out. And I should have taken my mom's advice before I left, as I heard her screaming in my head, basically, to let her go there. And I didn't do it. So, unfortunately, in the process, her and the babies wound up being scattered someplace in Utah. According to what the contractor who cleared out the house had said. And they were doing it on behalf of his family. But the reason why I bring that up is even with things like that, yeah, they were living, breathing beings who meant a lot to me while they were alive, and still mean a lot to me, even in death. But that's the thing, they were things too, their bodies. So, you know, in between that and losing all my stuff, having to sell either losing them because I just couldn't keep up with the storage payments anymore because of everything going on with my health. Really struggling with that, struggling with everything financially. And then in the end, the little bit of stuff I had left, selling it all so I could come here to possibly get some help. Well, to get help and, you know, at least have some place to land and not wind up homeless. And at the same time, possibly get some medical help. The thing that really came up with me with everything that happened recently is, what's the point if you lose everything? And then I saw that post and it just reiterated what I was already thinking. You're going to lose it all anyway. You can't take it with you. So then what is the point to be here? And then that's when the little seed was planted in my brain. The whole point to be here is for the experiences. That's what was planted in my brain. It's for the experiences. And you take it that how you want to. Personally, I prefer to look at it as having those experiences, to enjoy it all, to flow through and to learn how to deal with the difficult times and so forth. And to grow from it all. The good and the bad. Not just through the bad times. Growth doesn't happen just through the bad times. It also happens through the good times too. The good times, and of course the bad times, teach you to appreciate everything. And when the bad times do hit, you treat them as, instead of looking at it as from a victim mentality, why does this keep happening to me? Look at it as, what can I learn from this, and how can I grow through it? How can I grow from it? And yeah, we can have a tendency when, those rough times hit to have all of the anxieties and so forth go through to hit. But the biggest lesson that I've learned through it how to find balance during those times and look at it from a place of a teaching mechanism. What are you doing? You're fighting your mommy. She's like, Mommy, I want to bite you. I want to play. Okay. Let me go so I can pick on her. Yeah. All right. Love you guys.